Hey friends, it's Carly. Welcome back to my kitchen. So I recently dropped my kids off at school and they have a half day today. It is exam week, and for those of you who know what exam week is like, if you have children in the middle school or in the high school, you know that it is very stressful, both for the kids and for the parents. So I thought I would make a little surprise for my kiddos for when they come home from school. They will be eating lunch here today. So I am going to be making our chocolate chip cookies from our chocolate chip cookie mix. And I will be putting this together really quickly. I do have to pick them up not too long from now. So usually, honestly, I keep things like this in my pantry all the time. And the reason that I do that is every once in a while, there'll be like a last minute decision, or like your child will come home and be like, oh, there's a birthday party at school and I'm supposed to bring cupcakes, or, I'm supposed to bring a treat to pass, or, something like that. Or if you just want, maybe you have somebody coming over and want something really quick to throw together. I love having things like the chocolate chip cookie mix, the brownie mix. We've got all kinds of fun things in the pantry section. So definitely check that out and just have one of these types of things on hand just in case of emergency. And these are lovely because they go together so quickly. I'll show you the back here. Might be hard to read, but basically there is 3 ingredients, and one of them is the cookie mix itself. So basically, all I'm going to do is throw this together, and in just a few minutes, I'm going to have amazing chocolate chip cookies, and nobody will be able to tell that they are not homemade. Well, I mean, they are homemade, right? Like, there's rules about that kind of stuff, but they might not be scratch made. Ooh. I just opened this up and I got a waft of this delicious smell. So I'm just gonna pop this into my stainless steel mixing bowl, and I'm going to put this all together. You can't really see if I can lift it up, but the chocolate chips are like itty bitty tiny teeny, so that you can get a lot of those chocolate chips in every single cookie. I don't know if you're like me and you've made these from scratch and you get down to the last part of the cookie dough and you don't have any chocolate chips in the actual chocolate chip cookies. So those are like the cookies that you eat like before anybody else can see that they've actually been made. So first ingredient here is my chocolate chip cookie mix. This is 6 tablespoons of butter. And that's going to go right in there. You want to have it melted and then leave it out on the table for maybe 10 minutes or so it can cool to just about room temperature. You obviously don't want to put it in the refrigerator and have it re-solidify, because you do want it to be in a liquid form. And then we also have 1 egg, and I'm just going to pop that in there. Beautiful. So this is my stainless steel mixing bowl. This is like my go-to mixing bowl set, and I'm just going to mix this around here with my mix and scraper. This is my regular mix and scraper. This particular recipe has instructions for whether you're going to be using stoneware to cook or to bake your cookies, I should say, and whether or not you're going to use like a metal non-stick pan. So if you are doing this on stoneware has a tendency to take a little longer in the oven, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It just means you have to adjust your cooking time. If you're a user of stoneware, you might know that already, that sometimes you'll notice that things that on a metal baking pan might take a little shorter of a time. It takes a little longer on stoneware. And the reason for that is because the stones heat evenly, whereas the metal pans heat up really, really quickly. That's why you'll get like burned bottoms on your cookies and gummy tops if you're using metal bakeware. Or you just learn how to adjust your bake time and all of that so that you don't get that. However, our stoneware is different. I'm actually doing this on my large bar pan today. You'll notice that my bar pan is not the prettiest color, I guess. Basically, as you use your stoneware, you're going to notice the colors start to darken. And even though it might not look as pretty to your eye, that means that the stone is becoming seasoned and naturally non-stick. So once you get that natural non-stick surface, kind of like I have here, you don't have to put oil or anything or parchment paper down on your baking sheets. You can just bake just like this, and you don't have to add anything to that. So I've got my mix here. I'm going to use my medium scoop. Our scoops are awesome for making cookies. I particularly like the medium scoop for making cookies simply because it makes a decent medium-sized cookie. So we do have the small and the large scoops, but I prefer kind of a medium-sized cookie. If you get, you know, too small, then honestly, it's hilarious because I feel like if I eat a medium cookie, I feel better about my life than I do if I eat like 2 or 3 small cookies. Does that make sense? I know it's like completely not a scientifically proven thing, but I have these theories. Like I could eat, you know, 1 large cookie, or I could eat 5 small cookies, and I'd still, at the end of the day, feel better about eating the 1 large cookie because it's only 1 cookie, right? I also have theories about what I call caloric leakage. So say you have a cookie and the cookie breaks, okay? So you break the cookie in half. Well, now see, that cookie does not count towards your 2,000 calorie a day diet anymore because the calories just leak out the side of the cookie and then it doesn't count. I have other little rules that are actually just kind of for fun. But some of my other rules are, you know, if you go to a party and you know, it's a potluck, none of that stuff counts because you didn't have a choice in what you were going to be eating. So that's just my words of wisdom for you. So I have my cookies. You're going to space them out just a little bit on the sheet. You want to make sure that they don't all run together and make a cookie bar. So for stoneware, I am going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees for 14 to 16 minutes. If you're going to be doing this with a metal baking sheet, you're going to do this for 12 to 14 minutes. So there is just a little bit of a time difference there. I'm going to pop these in the oven. And once they're all baked up, I'll come back and show you what they look like. We are back with my finished chocolate chip cookies. My house smells incredible. I wish you could smell it. There's something about baking chocolate chip cookies that just makes your house smell like home, doesn't it? I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like memories from childhood or something. But now I'm going to use a hot pad. This is very, very hot because our stones retain heat. I took this out of the oven just a couple of minutes ago and let it, let everybody kind of cool and chill out for a few minutes, but it is very, very hot. But aren't they gorgeous? Look at how beautiful they are. There are so many chocolate chip cookies in here. I can't see if I can pull one apart for you. I'm going to use my mini serving spatula. This is like my go-to spatula for everything. It's small enough that you have lots of control over what you're doing. It also comes in nylon. This is obviously the stainless steel one, but there is a nylon one as well. I use these all the time for eggs, for baking, for, cutting pieces of brownie and getting them out of it. It's like seriously my everyday. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Ha! It just slides around down there because these cookies are baked on the stoneware and the stoneware is absolutely amazing. So here's one of the cookies. It is still pretty hot, but let's go ahead and open her up. Look at that. Look at all those chocolate chip cookies. They're just everywhere in there. And this is absolutely, wow. It smells so good in here. I cannot wait for my kids to come home and check these out. I'm gonna take these off the pan. Your recipe will make 12 to 16 cookies. Depending on which scoop you use, of course, I use the medium scoop. So there's 12 cookies here, and then there's another couple that I will pop in, but you don't have to stick around for that. I'm gonna take these off of my stoneware, and I'm gonna go ahead and put them on one of my stackable cooling racks. And then in just a few minutes, I'm gonna go get my kids. I'm so hoping that their day went well. I hope your day went well. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you back here next time. Bye.